Yes, we should be live.
Okay, we can only see Simon's screen.
Yes, we are live. We can see Simon's screen. Perfect.
Okay. So people can see us now.
Yes.
Okay then, hello everybody. We are the University of Birmingham Astronomical Society. We're one of the oldest societies actually at the university and are part of the Guild of Students. We have a fantastic legacy, especially in the fields of outreach. And we've done a lot of work in those fields in the last sort of five or so years. And as a result, have picked up many coveted EPS outreach awards. The society itself focuses a lot on academic talks. So we invite external speakers in to speak to us on a range of astrophysical phenomena. We also give the undergraduates, so our fellow members, opportunities to give talks as well, and invite some of the lecturers from our own research departments in, again, to kind of come and share their knowledge. But we're not just about the astrophysics side of things. We love to try and get out and observe. We have the opportunity to do this after every one of our live in-person events. Now, obviously, this year, that's going to be a little bit limited, sadly. But rest assured that once we can safely get back out there and do this observing, we will be inviting you guys along. To further bolster this observing, we've also launched and have had success with something that we like to call short notice observations, or SNOs, SNOs. This is basically a system that we've set up where you can join one of our Facebook groups and get notified as soon as one of the committee members decides that they wish to go and observe, when we have a clear night that is not a Thursday. And at this point, we'll invite you along, and providing we get a handful of people to make the observing session worthwhile, then we'll get out the telescopes and see what we can see. As per before, obviously this is going to be something that we can't necessarily do maybe until after Christmas. We're just going to have to wait and see what the government guidelines allow us to do. But obviously the observing side is a very, very large part of what AstroSoc do. On top of that, we often run social events, so they can be social meals out. We have our annual bar crawl, which hopefully we will still be able to run in some form or another. And we also host stuff like movie nights, quizzes, and other social events like that as well. So I really hope you can join us. And I'm going to pass over to our equipment and observing officer, Simon Wooding, who's going to tell you a little bit about doing some astronomical observations from within your backyard. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Hello, I'm Simon Wooding. I'm the Equipment Observations Officer for AstroSoc. And I assume you can see this here. I've got a bit of a PowerPoint to talk about how you can observe from your backyard, assuming you have one. I suppose you can go to like a park or something if you don't. Okay, so here it is. Right, first off, the thing I guess that I have to preface this with is that, you know, if you're in Birmingham, which I understand some of you might not be, you know, if you're here or in another big city, things are going to be kind of difficult. So just with that out of the way, first off, I guess, is equipment. So you don't actually have to have a telescope for the stuff I'm going to be talking about in this, right? I've got, you know, I understand that like a lot of us don't have telescopes. The society currently does not have telescopes, or we do have them. They're in a cupboard on campus we can't get to. So this is going to be a low-tech observing device thing. And also, you know, for anyone who's a beginner at this, you know, it's quite expensive to have a telescope and you need a lot of space for it. So just assume you don't need one for this. So I guess to start off with, we got, you know, the conditions for today. And if you looked out the window today, you might notice that it's not very good for seeing the stars. I mean, it's not that late yet, but even if it were, it's going to be cloudy pretty much all night, as you can see on this. I've got a diagram here for the cloud cover. Red is cloudy, and it's going to be red until 10 o'clock. So you're not going to see much today. unfortunately. But lucky for us, there isn't really much to see today anyway, so that's fine. And I guess, you know, I'm going to move on and talk about some stuff that we can see in the next month. Before that, though, some general notes on like weather and stuff. In Birmingham, it's pretty much always cloudy. Sorry about that. We do what we can as a society, but it's difficult. The good news is it's getting into winter now, or autumn, but it's heading towards the colder end of the year, which means the nights are going to be longer and the air is going to be colder, which means less interference from air turbulence, which isn't really like that much of a big deal at the amateur level, but still, anything is a help. The other problem that we have is that, you know, we're in a big city in the center and there's a lot of light pollution, and there's not really much you can do about that one. We get a bit higher up when we do our observations. Obviously we can't do that right now, but maybe try and get into like a park or something further away from the buildings. It's going to be an issue pretty much anywhere near a large population center, unfortunately. Okay, so yesterday was the autumn equinox, which means the days are now getting shorter and the nights are getting longer, which means one, the night is going to fall sooner, which is great for us, and two, they're just going to be longer in general. So, you know, this is prime AstroSoc territory here. Bit of a shame about the coronavirus. But this diagram is just here to like illustrate this. It's here if you don't know what an equinox is. Okay, right, moving on to objects you can actually see. So the moon is first up because it's my favorite of these. It's the best one for anyone who doesn't have very good equipment or no equipment at all. It's the biggest object you're going to see in the sky, and it's very bright. So this is a photo that I took when in February, when we took out the telescope as pictured here. And this was taken with a smartphone, actually. You don't need like any fancy equipment to take photographs of objects like the moon or some of the planets. You can just use your phone if you stick it up against the lens of the telescope, which can be a bit difficult to line it up properly. I took like 100 of these, and this is the only one that came out clear. That photo has Luke in the corner trying unsuccessfully to get our CCD to work. I imagine he'll get it working at some point. But yeah, if you've not got a very good telescope, or even if you don't have one at all, you know, you can still see the moon and you can get some pretty good detail on it. You know, I mean, you won't be able to get a photo like this without a good telescope, but you can get a photo, and, you know, the moon's great, even if it's a bit blurry. You got lots of craters and stuff. It's cool. So the next thing, I guess, is that this month, October, is going to be great because there's going to be 2 planets that are going to be very visible. So starting from the 1st, Mercury is going to be at its peak visibility for a while. Unfortunately, the moon's also going to be full at the same time. So it's sort of one or the other. The moon's very bright and it tends to blot out other stuff, in addition to the already large amount of light pollution we have. But, you know, if you're going to pick one or the other, I'd probably say the moon, but Mercury will be back. We also have a meteor shower on the 7th, which is going to be pretty cool. I've got another slide of that in a second. And also we have the best bit of the whole thing, which is Mars. Mars is going to be at its greatest visibility in 2 years, pretty much. It comes around, it's closest to the Earth very soon, and it's going to be very visible. Which means actually this year it's extra good because it's going to be quite high above the horizon. So if you want to go look for it, then, you know, it'll look like a big red dot pretty much. It'll look like a star, but quite a bit brighter. If you've seen Venus before in the sky, then it's pretty much like that. And you also, again, you won't need much of a very good telescope to be able to see that pretty well. And there's going to be, you know, there's going to be lots of different faces of it visible pretty much all month. The 13th is probably the best time to see it. But you can see it from, I think, the 6th onwards, and it's going to be there all October. So if you're an amateur planet spotter, then that's a good one for you. Then the meteor shower that's going to happen is the Draconids, I don't know how to pronounce it. That's on the 7th of October. And this is actually a really good meteor shower if you're, you know, if you're a beginner at meteor showers, because it's going to be pretty early in the evening. Normally meteor showers are at like 1 a.m. and you have to stay up for them. It's really boring. And this one is not going to be very dense. It's only about 10 meters per hour, but it is going to be high up in the sky, so that'll make it easier to see. And it's at roughly 7 p.m. So, you know, you don't actually have to lose any sleep over this one. If you want to spot it, I've got a picture here. These 3 stars, Deneb, Voltaire, and Vega, are they make a big triangle in the sky. They're pretty obvious. It's a little difficult to tell which one is which, but they make a right-angled triangle if you look carefully. And if you've got like a star finding app or something, you ought to be able to find them pretty easily. There's lots of good free ones around. So if you follow the long arm of the right-angled triangle, then a bit further up, then that's where the draconids are. Or if you're just really boring, you can look to the west and then just keep looking up. It's going to be like right on top of you. So keep an eye out for that one. It's probably going to be visible from here. And okay, I ran out of stuff. There's not that much to see. Question time, I guess.
So yeah, anybody who is watching, please feel free to kind of ask us some questions. We'll try and do our best to answer whatever we can. Building on some of Simon's points, obviously we do recommend any sort of star finding apps. The Night Sky is a very good one, which you can download onto your smartphone and effectively use it almost as a planetarium type thing, where you can put it up to the night sky and it'll tell you roughly what is in front of you, what you can see.
And it has spooky background music too.
Yeah, there are a lot of cool features on it, which really does make it a fantastic tool to help aid you in your astronomy. Building on top of that, there are other sort of slightly more detailed apps and pieces of software to kind of help you out. Stellarium being probably one of the best of these, which is actually where a lot of our images today have come from.
This is from Stellarium, right here.
Yeah, to sort of help you do a lot of the star finding and stuff like that. Regarding the number of telescopes we have, so the Society, I believe at the moment owns 9 different telescopes, of which probably 4 or 5 we use quite regularly whenever possible. We also own a solar telescope. So this basically has a really thick filter in front of it, which blocks almost all of the light that the telescope actually collects. But it does allow us to observe the sun during the day. Now, obviously, normally we're in lectures doing lab work and stuff like that, so we don't get a huge amount of use out of this telescope. But last year, last academic year that is, we were fortunate enough to observe the transit of Mercury across the face of the sun using this telescope. It was something really special for those members that came up. And in fact, it was exciting enough that it drew the attention of quite a number of the PhD and postdoc students from within some of the astrophysics departments, and they came to join us up on the roof as well. It was really quite a cool event. So I guess in general, you know, we really hope that you guys will consider joining the Society. We are a little bit limited in what we can do right now, but as I said before, you know, we really are working to try and keep this semester really interesting for you. We'll share a little bit later the timetable that we have come up with for this semester, so you can kind of see some of our events. But if you want to kind of get notified of these a little bit more, then please really consider following us on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook, UAB AstroSoc. And there you should be able to see a lot of other cool things we're doing. So it looks like we
don't post much on Twitter, but you can follow us anyway.
So it looks like we have a question on the chat. Simon, are you okay to answer this for me?
Well, I can't actually see it because I'm screen sharing, so someone else is going to have to ask it.
I'll read out the question then, and that is, what planets can we expect to see over the winter period this year?
Well, the 2 I've given already, you know, those 2, Jupiter's was around for a while before this, and so was Saturn, and they may still be visible right now. I'm not sure after that. I didn't think to check just yet. I'm not writing that talk until next week. Sorry, but Jupiter is going to still be around as far as I know. Unfortunately, it's not as bright as some of the other ones right now, so you probably can't see it from Birmingham. Sorry.
And the other question that we've been asked is, can we see galaxies with our naked eye?
Not usually, and certainly not here now in this kind of weather. We last spring we managed to see a galaxy through one of our better telescopes on the roof, and even then it was very blurry, and that was the Andromeda Galaxy, which is the nearest one to us. So the answer is pretty much no, unless you can get significant distance away from the city lights and a good telescope, and even then it's pretty difficult.
May I interject for a moment? About the Andromeda
Yep.
Galaxy, you can see it from the corner of your eye quite famously if you're in a really dark environment. So if you have to look it up, I don't have it on the top of my mind, but if you look in a certain position where the Andromeda Galaxy is just slightly out of view and you focus on this dark spot, then in your peripheral vision, you'll become aware of a lighter patch of sky and it will start to come into form. It's to do with how the perception of your light in your peripheral vision is different from your direct vision, because if you then turn your eyes and look at it directly, it will disappear because your pupils will adjust to the average kind of darkness of the sky. But there's certain ways, if it's a dark enough night, you find the Andromeda Galaxy, you use the North Star and certain other galaxies, and there's a way to find it. It will point towards the direction, and you pointedly look just a little bit to the left of it, and you might see something materialize.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. Thank you for doing my job for me.
For general information, the Andromeda Galaxy is the closest galaxy to the Milky Way. It's the similar kind of shape as the Milky Way. It's a spiral galaxy with a more dense part in the middle, and then it spirals out in the typical galaxy shape into arms. But from where we are, it will appear as a disk because we look at it at the side.
So the society, to kind of build on this, we also often host towards the back end of the summer break, we host a camping trip where we try and actually head out to a dark sky location, ideally taking some pairs of binoculars and some of the smaller telescopes with us on this trip. Last year, so not the summer just gone, obviously due to COVID, but the year before that, we took a trip out to Edale, which is in the Peak District, and we're fortunate enough to be able to observe the dusty strip of the Milky Way from out in a field, and also the Andromeda Galaxy as well. This was seen by pretty much all of our members that came on that trip through some binoculars and using some very rudimentary DSLR astrophotography. We were able to catch some very small, very blurry glimpses of the galaxy as well. Obviously, this is something that we're hoping to maybe follow up in the future. As we mentioned, from Birmingham, it's a little bit more challenging to see an object such as this, just because of the increased level of light pollution that is around most of the city, and especially around campus. However, if you can find a big park area, a big open area, so something like Cannon Hill Park, which is a roughly 20 minutes to half an hour from the university campus, then you may stand a slightly increased chance of being able to see these dim objects.
We hope we can do the camping trip again this coming summer, but we can't get too ahead of ourselves. But I have some ideas as to where we're going to go, so be warned. Right.
Okay, we've had a question come through on the Twitch chat. We've had someone ask, how can we view satellites and what's the best time to observe them?
So like satellites as in satellites of the Earth, or satellites as in the kind that do, internet stuff or whatever?
And the ones that fly above the Earth and reflect light, making them visible from the ground.
Well, like in general, I mean, the biggest satellite you can see is obviously the International Space Station, and that one actually it goes really fast, and you can see it with the naked eye a lot of the time. It comes over. I mean, it depends where you are, it does, you know, passovers over various bits of the Earth, and when it does that, it actually comes over, you know, multiple times in a pretty short span of time. So that was one cool thing to observe. Most other satellites are pretty small, and you can see them, you know, if the conditions are right. But if you want to see any specific one, you're probably it's a good idea to get one of those star observing apps. A lot of them list quite a lot of satellites in them, and you know, if you want to see which ones are passing over you, you can look them up so that you can tell which small shiny object that moves fast is above you. But you can't see a lot of them with the naked eye if you try.
I'd like to add, actually, we can expect to see a lot more satellites in the near future, and in fact for the last few months, because there's certain projects that are becoming underway that have been in the works for a long while, which are known as satellite constellations. Satellite constellations, owned by various mega corporations, are missions to connect the entire Earth with internet connection or with phone signals and so on from a network of satellites covering every part of the ground in space. And the scale of this means that they're trying to put thousands and thousands of satellites into orbit. Some people might have heard of SpaceX. Elon Musk starting the Starlink program a couple of months ago. It's causing a lot of controversy because the number of satellites that are going up are very reflective, and they're leaving streaks across the sky when people are taking astronomical data when they're trying to observe the stars, because these satellites are much brighter than the background behind them. On the plus side, if it means you want to see satellites, it means that due to Starlink and these projects, a lot more are going to become visible, and they're very easy to observe if you look up at the right time. There's just about always a satellite in view.
It depends which one you want to see more, the stars or the satellites.
Absolutely.
You're not getting both. Really.
No, well, it's not good for astronomy, and that's a big debate at the moment, actually. But then again, you can argue what the societal benefits are of internet to remote places from satellites. That's a different question. But at any given moment, usually, if you look for long enough, you can see a satellite. When I was younger, I used to get confused. I thought the satellites were meteors because they will appear like a bright light traveling quickly across the sky. But if it doesn't fade within a couple of seconds and it moves consistently, it's a satellite. If it's bright and then it disappears, lucky you got a meteor.
Wow. It's very cool.
So it doesn't look like we have any more questions. So for now, we're just going to quickly share our timetable, and our outreach officer is going to talk us through the events that we've got this term, and a couple of other special things that we're doing for the first time ever this year.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I am Anwesha, and thank you for introducing me, Luke. I'm going to start off with talking about some of the activities that we have planned for the month of October. So for the first time ever, AstroSoc, along with 3 other societies, so that is SpaceSoc, WISE, and SatNav, we're organizing World Space Week events. And this is an international celebration of space and human technologies in space. And the theme for 2020 is Satellites Improve Life. So we have 2 weeks of activities planned for you, effectively 3 as well, for a variety of events. And they begin on the 3rd of October and they will end on the 24th of October. And this is going to be a number of activities ranging from talks on the uses of satellites for astronomy and technology, and these talks will be provided by all 4 societies. Additionally, there's going to be a contest as well, and we're going to have interactive interviews and Q&A sessions. So to stay updated about World Space Week, please follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages, or you could just send us an email at our Guild email address, which is astrosoc@guild.bham.ac.uk, and we will get you to our mailing lists as we send out the emails for World Space Week. Moving on to our plans for the term, I'm going to share with you what our tentative plans are. Can someone on the call just give me a thumbs up that you can see the screen? Perfect. So this is our tentative plan for everyone for term 1. Everyone is welcome to join, so you do not have to be in the School of Physics and Astronomy. If you're a geologist, or if you're a philosophy student, or English, arts, everyone is welcome to join. And one of the first activities that we have is our Welcome to AstroSoc and D&D session, which is tentatively scheduled for the 1st of October, so that's 1 week to go. So you're most welcome to join us for the session. It promises to be an exciting session. And 5th to 9th of October, that's the first round of Space Week events. And this we're going to have the second round, which is going to be around the 20s of October. And we have our virtual bar crawl coming up. This is our first time doing our bar crawl virtually. So it's going to be something really new and exciting. So do follow us on our social media channels for exciting updates. Around the 29th of October, we're planning on having our Tea Talk and Telescope event, which is our termly event. And this is a very popular event that AstroSoc hosts, in which we invite an external speaker to give a very enriching talk on astronomy and their research. It is aimed for the general public, so do not be afraid. There's not going to be lots of equations or graphs, and you will be able to understand pretty much most of it. And on the 12th of November, we have our virtual observation planned. Around sometime in November, we're going to have our patron, Professor Amaury Triod. He's a researcher and professor in our astronomy department specializing in exoplanets. He's going to give a talk in the month of October. And we have our annual Christmas quiz. As I mentioned earlier, because of the fluidity of the situation with the coronavirus, these dates are fluid and they are subject to change, which is why we highly recommend follow us on our social media. They are right here, and we will keep you updated with the events we have planned. Thank you very much. Over to you, Luke.
Thank you again, Anwesha. That is brilliant. So yes, as she pointed out, a number of the events that we're running, we are doing so for the first time ever. So in particular, obviously our virtual bar crawl. We're hoping to kind of get you to come up with some space-themed cocktails. You can choose exactly how you wish to theme those space-wise. We're really looking forward to seeing what you come up with for that. The virtual observation session on the 12th of November is also something that is going to be the first time for us. What we're hoping to do is by then to get permission from the university to, for a select few of our committee most likely, to go up onto the roof and perhaps see if we can try and stream an observing session. So we will try and pick out some particularly interesting targets, attach a webcam type device to the eyepiece of the telescope. And so you will be able to see what the telescope is seeing. Obviously, this could go really well, it could go really poorly, and it's very much going to be weather dependent. So that one may well change the date of that. However, we are hoping that it kind of allows you guys to get a little bit of astronomy viewing in during the COVID crisis, while we aren't able to let you actually come and use our telescopes for now.
Also, if that goes at all well, like if it works and we get the camera attached, you'll be able to see way more than you would normally in an observation session, you know, and you won't be nearly as cold. So that one's actually great as a thing for our future.
Yep, there are definitely some double bonuses to that. If you want also some more astrophysics sort of things, then please go and check out our YouTube channel. Again, this is brand new for this year. We've recently been hosting a series of talks titled Quarantine Talks that have been given by a few members of our committee and some of the academics within our own department. These have been really, really well received and are absolutely fascinating. They cover quite a number of different areas, from galaxies to exoplanets, nuclear physics, atomic physics, and a little bit of energy generation as well. There really are quite a range of topics on there. So if you are interested in that sort of thing and would like to see roughly what we do, I would invite you to head over there as well. Check out some of the stuff that we've been doing for you. Hopefully you'll be able to get a grasp of what we do, and with any luck in the near future, we'll be able to see you in person on campus. We're really, really looking forward to that. I think that is everything that we have to say for now. So we're going to end this stream here. So thank you very much for joining us. As we've iterated again and again, please, if you are interested, don't hesitate to contact us. We've already had a few emails from some interested freshers in particular, but the society is open to absolutely anybody. Whether you just want to see some really nice pictures of the night sky through our telescopes, whether you're a really keen astrophysicist, whatever your level of enthusiasm, we'd love to see you. So really hope you can join us soon. Thank you. Goodbye.